It's asinine people in this world that make life so bizarre. I cannot make heads or tails out of what is actually going on. I have no idea what's happening with Brexit. I have people messaging me about vaccines, and now I've heard that a private school pupil has killed his mother after stabbing her a mammoth 118 times. Again, this psycho stabbed his own mother 118 times. His bloody mum, the woman that raised him from the moment he came out of the womb, blew his snotty ass nose when he was all bunged up. The person that told him he was adorable and it was the best child she could ever wish for whenever he was sad. And now, the person who fundamentally afforded him the luxuries of going to a private school. All that nurture and all that love has equated to the mother losing her life in the most heinous way. Again, for the third time, my guy stabbed his own mom 118 times. He stabbed her. Now tell me this ain't some confuddled situation. Right now we are on the cusp of a battle between logic and common sense and normal people versus the insane, cold-hearted and no remorse psychos. A private school pupil killed his mom after stabbing her a whopping 118 times. Sorry, I had to say it again. I literally cannot get over it. To make matters worse, after committing the savage crime, Rowan Thompson dialed 999, asked for the police, then calmly told the operator to bring a body bag. I have just killed my mom. I probably need someone to arrest me. I think that's what you do. And that is a quote. During the inquest, it was reported Rowan had told police he had strangled his mom, 50-year-old Joanna Thompson, knifed her to death before putting the knife in the dishwasher and then making himself some lunch. What about this seems normal to people? After all that, Rowan had the audacity and the gall to not even admit to murder. This guy would only admit to manslaughter, but denied the charge of murder at Winchester Crown Court. Rowan wasn't able to face justice, however, as he was found dead at a psychiatric facility, meaning that the trial had to be abandoned. Just to go over the severity of Joanna Thompson's injuries, she was strangled with such ferocity that her voice box was fractured, and she suffered bleeding in the eyes and face. This was confirmed by pathologist Dr. Basil Perdue. After strangling his own mother, he left her alone for a reported 10 to 15 minutes, returning with a knife and stabbing her in multiple locations. Stab wounds include the forehead, arm and neck, severing her jugular artery. The incident happened at the quaint Walnut Tree Cottages, Vicarage Lane, Hambledon, Hampshire, the inquest heard. When asked by dispatch if he would need an ambulance, Rowan replied, "Yeah, a body bag, or whatever you do." He then continued, saying he was 99% sure his mother was not breathing, before adding, "I made sure of it." Rowan was not a normal teenager by any means. His hardwire was messed up and he suffered from depression, it was reported. Sometime before committing the atrocious crimes, he was going through the ordeal of identifying as non-binary and had reassigned his gender to no sexuality and underwent a name change too. Rowan was also battling suicidal tendencies that resulted in people around him walking on eggshells in order to calm an often tense situation. The sudden and volatile outbursts often made his mom feel like she couldn't do anything to support her child. What made it especially hard was that it was common knowledge that her two sons she adored, and they were the two people she always put first, despite the fact there was a third child, the sister. Detailing the night of the killing, it was reported that the mom and Rowan had a discussion about whether he would go back to Barnsley to be with his dad and stepmom. It was also reported a train was booked for Rowan to return to Barnsley for 11:30 a.m. Hampshire police received a phone call from Rowan at 12:45 p.m, telling the operator that he was standing over his mum's dead body. It was also detailed that when police arrived at the scene, Rowan gave the police officer at the scene a cheery hello to police officer Constable David Tester. PC Tester told the inquest Thompson was extremely calm and composed. Senior coroner for Hampshire Council concluded that Mrs. Thompson died from a deliberate act and recorded a verdict of unlawful killing. Rowan's father disagreed with the verdict, however, and hired a defence case psychiatrist to conduct their own evaluation. The defence psychologist believed Rowan had suffered from a psychotic episode. An inquest into the mother's death, Joanna Thompson, is expected to be held next year. It's a tragic case all around, but the fact still remains that Rowan was a complete and utter psycho. He stabbed his mom for the 6th time, I'm going to say it, 118 times. Safe.